Hello, BookTube, and welcome to another weekly reading vlog. Such as it is, I actually don't have a lot to report on for my reading this week, but I'll get into that. I've got the keys with me today. This was my mistake last time, was locking the door but leaving the keys in the keyhole. The three-year-old has figured out how to work the keys now, which is what went wrong with last week's video. So yeah, if you watched last week, I said I'm going to be incredibly busy for the next 8 to 10 weeks and not going to have much time to read. And yeah, as I said last week, I'm incredibly busy and don't have much time to read. So I did not. No progress on the grammar book at all this week. No progress on the Bible. I was intending to keep going with the Vietnamese book, but I just, one thing led to another. I missed it one day, and then one day became 2 days, and 2 days became 3 days, and I actually did not make any progress on this. Ashamed to say, because studying Vietnamese again had been one of my New Year's resolutions. But I actually have been keeping up with practicing words on Quizlet every day and doing 5 lessons of Duolingo every day. That doesn't make it onto the weekly reading vlog, of course, but it's one of the things I have managed to keep going this week. I'm a little bit worried I'm going to run out of time to keep that going as things get busier and busier, but so far I've been keeping the Duolingo studying going on. Yes, oh right, sorry. Let me, before I get into the books, a couple more things in general this week. So I've got a really busy schedule for the next 8 to 10 weeks, but I did actually have some unexpected free time this week. Some classes were unexpectedly canceled. Now, some of those, for example, I had some extra free time this morning that I was not expecting to have. But when you've got 2 kids, your time is not really your own, is it? Those of you who are parents will know. Got a 3-year-old and a baby, and I had some classes that were canceled this morning. I was hoping to use that time to catch up on my reading or my book reviewing, and no, no, time was just gone. I had a rather unique situation yesterday where I had a 4-hour block in the middle of my day where I was expecting to be teaching, but that class got canceled. So I had 4 hours where I was just in the middle of the city. My wife and I agreed it wasn't worth coming all the way home and then going back out again. So I was just in the city. Wandered down to the walking street in downtown Ho Chi Minh City and made one of my travel log videos about that, which, by the way, I watched that video after I filmed it, and apologies for how bad that video is. You know, I was trying to hold the camera and walk at the same time, or walk around, and the camera is just constantly shaking. I knew it would be shaking a little bit, but I didn't realize how bad it was until I watched it. So I don't know what the solution to that is going to be. I mean, I'm not going to buy a tripod or professional equipment, obviously. When I'm holding the camera with my hand, it's going to be shaking a little bit. I might just have to just accept that the videos are going to be bad quality, or maybe stand in one place longer and try and do just like longer shots. I also was experimenting with the video editor on my computer, Windows video editor, and discovered that I could put still pictures on there. I was actually experimenting with that with the started video I made for this book earlier today. I took a picture of me holding that book, and then I put that in the Windows editor as like the first thing. I wasn't even 100% sure it would let me put pictures in that editing software, but it did, and it was, I think it was programmed as like 3 seconds long or something, which seems to be the default setting when you just put pictures in there. So maybe I'll try and take more still pictures and put them into the video when I do more sights, traveling videos with the sights and sounds of Ho Chi Minh City. I also had a block of time. I had a 4-hour block, so I did wander around and film that video for some of that. But then I was in a coffee shop reading Herodotus, and I think I was in the coffee shop for an hour and a half. Maybe it was closer to 2 hours, and I got 30 pages of Herodotus read, which I had been hoping to get more under my belt with this long chunk in the middle of the day. But actually, I think 30 pages in 90 minutes might be about my normal reading speed anyways. I mean, Herodotus is always slow going because I'm flipping back and forth with the notes and the footnotes. But yeah, that's the progress I made on this book. So added to that some pages I got read earlier in the week, and it was 44 pages of Herodotus this week. So finished up book 7 and started book 8. I'm in the middle of the Persian Wars here, so all the famous stuff. The 300 Spartans at Thermopylae was in the section I read yesterday, which of course was interesting. I was almost a little bit surprised by how little there was there ultimately, given how much it's been mythologized. I mean, Herodotus does mythologize it. He talks about how brave and wonderful these men are, and how all of Greece was in their debt, and there's plenty of laudatory language, but it is ultimately just like a few pages out of this whole book where that whole thing, I guess, comes from. And I think Herodotus is the only source for that. Is that right, or am I getting that wrong? So that's Herodotus. The Lord of the Rings, I finished this a couple weeks ago, I believe. I was rereading parts of it while I was getting my review ready. This week I reread 4 pages, from pages 988 to 992 in the chapter on Minas Tirith. And then I used some of that unexpected free time I had on Friday to film my review of this. I still have not been able to get my written review together. That one's for the weblog. I was hoping to get that done this afternoon and did not. Just really hard to carve out time for these things nowadays. But yeah, film the video review of this, and then film the video review of the whole box set. Sorry, I'm looking for my box set so I can hold it up, but I don't know where that disappeared to. I think the 3-year-old got into it. And then after I finished this, I realized I needed something. I needed a small book to fill the slot that this slot was filling, something to read while I was eating or something like that, which I couldn't really do with any of the other books on my reading list. This one's way too bulky. This one is too much fiddling with the footnotes and the maps, and it's a little bit bulky. So I put in the Frederick Douglass's autobiography, Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass. Made a started video for that earlier today. I've only read the preface. Sorry, not the preface. The the publisher's introduction. The preface is part of the actual text. And they have this thing they usually do where the publisher's introduction, the page numbers are Roman numerals, and then the page numbers start again with a 1 from the actual text. But I'm going to count that as 9 Roman numerals for the publisher's introduction for this. And then The Magic of Oz, doing this as a buddy reads with Dane reads. Regret to say I made very little progress on this, even though I'm actually behind schedule with the buddy reads Dane and I are doing. But I mean, because I've been busy, but also because I haven't been able, it's such a big, bulky book, I've been reluctant to take it to work with me. So I did read 14 pages from page 1322 to 1336. I don't know. I was doing a little bit of research on this, and this seems to have a reputation for being one of the worst books L. Frank Baum wrote before his death. But there's a certain bizarreness that I'm finding interesting. They're going into the forest of the beasts, and it talks about how the beasts have a law that they can't actually fight each other. There's a leopard who is their king, and then there are 4 counselors for the leopard. So an enormous yellow leopard named Gugu, and this king has 3 other beasts to advise him in keeping the laws and maintaining order: Bru the bear, Lu the unicorn, and Rango the gray ape. Now, despite this, there had been trouble in the forest of Gugu that morning. Chippo the wild boar had bitten the tail off Arx the giraffe, while the latter had his head among the leaves of a tree eating his breakfast. Arx kicked with his heels and struck Turrup the great kangaroo, who had a new baby in her pouch. Turrup knew it was the wild boar's fault, so she knocked him over with one powerful blow and then ran away to escape Chippo's sharp tusks. In the chase that followed, a giant porcupine stuck 50 sharp quills into the boar, and a chimpanzee in a tree threw a coconut at the porcupine that jammed its head into its body. Whatever that means. I guess that means that the force of the coconut hitting the porcupine's head caused the head to get jammed into its body. I don't know. All this was against the laws of the forest, and when the excitement was over, Gugu the Leopard King called his royal counselors together to decide how best to punish the offenders. It's pretty bizarre, but in an interesting way. We'll see how this develops. I'm not sure. Yeah. Given the fact that I'm really busy, I'm not sure how much progress I'm going to make on this next week, but we'll see. Yeah, and so that's those are the 4 books I've managed to make some progress with this week, for a total of, I didn't add up my totals, 44 from Herodotus, 4 from Return of the King, that's 48, 9 from the Life of Frederick Douglass, counting the publisher's introduction. That would be, we were at 48, right? 57 and 14 from The Magic of Oz, so I think that's 61. I'm going to double check that math after the video. That's this week.